Hi there, welcome. This is David Cunningham, and today I'm going to be taking you through a very quick introduction to Logic Pro 10. And we'll start by welcoming you and saying thank you very much for taking the time to watch this presentation. I'm going to go through a checklist for your startup, some of the things that you might want to watch out for. I'll take you through opening Logic, checking your settings. Really going to reinforce that need to save things. We'll talk a little bit about the two file types and get started tracking, and then we'll create a little bit of sound with MIDI and some software instruments, and then wrap up. Alright, so let's get started. Take a look at Logic Pro. Now, Logic Pro is a software application made by Apple. It's available only on Macs, but it does offer a tremendous value, $200, and you get a real bank of a really large bank of software sounds. It doesn't have the industry standard cache like Pro Tools does, but it is very useful for composers and singer-songwriters. So up at the top you can see all of your different menus. The two key menus that we're going to look at are the Logic Pro 10 menu and the File menu. If we want to start a new project, there's a couple ways. One is to hit File and New. The other is to hit the hotkey of Shift Command N. So let's hit that right now. As you can see, it opens it up into our edit window here. We have a number of different choices. Now, as we said before, as Loudon was saying before, basically you have two types of files that go into your DAW, into your DAW. You've got an audio file, which is converted analog information, and then you have a MIDI file, and MIDI files are essentially just almost like musical notes, like a score being entered. The advantage of using something like a software instrument is that you're getting both those musical notes, that score, and you're getting someone to perform it on a particular instrument. So it's a combination of all those things. The guitar or bass, this is essentially a fancy version of the audio track, and it's just an audio track, and it has a few amplifiers and it has a few effects added on. So if you really want to play through that, that's fine. It's again designed more for singer-songwriters. The external MIDI, this is if you're going to be using having MIDI enter in and then sending that MIDI out somewhere to another instrument. Doesn't really concern us here. The main two types of tracks you're going to use are the audio and the software instrument. Something that's very useful for singer-songwriters is actually the drummer track, and I may start us off by creating that for now. I'll come back to that in a second. Okay, so let's go through our list. What are some of the things that we need? Well, first of all, let's check our preferences here. So if you go up to the Logic Pro 10 menu and you come down here, Preferences, this is one of the most useful menus and necessary menus that you're going to need in Logic. If you take a look at audio here, let's just check our settings and make sure we have everything right. Our core audio is enabled. Our output and input devices are set. Now this may depend on which output device you're using. Are you using Fast Track Pro? Are you using a Motu? Are you using an Onyx? What type of external board are you using? Okay, down here, 24-bit recording is enabled, so this is good. This takes us beyond the realm of the CD and the MP3. This gives us a little bit more dynamic range when we're recording. Now up here, this was also mentioned in the video lectures, the buffer size. Now since we're right in the middle, 128. This is a good place to start with. As it was mentioned on the video tutorials before, if the computer starts to slow down, if it starts to complain, then we can lower the buffer size. Now remember what we were saying before. The lower the buffer size, the better it is for recording, because this reduces latency. This reduces this recording delay right here. So if you notice there, resulting latency 1.5 milliseconds. If we raise it here, there's a lot more computer power, which is great. I can use lots of plugins, lots of reverb, lots of effects, but the problem is there's a lot of latency, and it makes it really hard to play along with. This is ideal for mixing, having that high buffer size. This down here is ideal for recording, laying down tracks, and being able to hear back what's going on. So, nice happy medium in there with 128. Okay, now that we've done this and we've applied these changes, we're going to take a look at the project settings. This is very important. It's specific for this particular project. Over here, the preferences are used for all of your tracks. Once you change this, it's used not just all your tracks, all of your projects. If you go here to File and Project Settings, this is used just for this particular project. Okay. One of the important things to check is our sample rate. So 44.1, not bad, but we can go better. We could go to 48 kilohertz. A lot of people find that there is a difference just in the sound quality, and especially in the higher frequencies. So we'll leave it at 48 kilohertz.